We're live. Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm Amanda Call. I'm working on a comic page. We've worked on this for a couple of weeks to get it all penciled. I finished the last couple of panels up after last week's stream. That bottom tier there, I finished up after the stream because it didn't take me terribly long to finish. And I didn't want to spend a whole stream just doing 2 panels. So now we're going to start inking it. So this is I Am the First, Chapter 2, page 10. Everything is penciled. I'm going to start working on some of the background elements in ink. So I've got my nib pen, a little 107 Hunt 107 nib. Normally, I like to use the Royal Talons India ink with the pen nibs, but I'm just about out, and a replacement has not come in yet. So we're going to go with second best option, which is the same Winsor & Newton ink that I use with my brushes. It's a little bit thicker, so it's not my favorite to use in the pen nibs because you got to clean them more frequently. It's just a little bit gummier. It doesn't flow quite as nicely in the pen nibs as the Royal Talons, but this is basically empty, so we're going to do what we got to do. Because the comics, they still need to be inked. Hey, Spud, thanks for joining me. So I'm going to open that up off to the side here. And I'm going to start with some of the technical stuff. So I've got my nice little straight edge triangle here. And see how much of this I can get done on a pass. So I'm going to line it up with some of the straight lines and just start getting those inked. Get all these little parallel straight lines here. I missed the ones over here. Dang it. I'll have to get those on another pass. Oh, I should have. Nah, I always miss a few when I first start this. Especially on a fairly complicated image with a lot of little elements going on. Got the little ball rack thing over here. In general, the I Am the First pages take like way longer to pencil and a lot less time to ink than the Age of Night pages because there's none of like the texturing or rendering or any of that because it's going to be colored, so there's no need to do all of that at the ink stage. So the ink stage tends to go pretty fast, but drawing real stuff is pretty demanding on the drawing level. Nah. All right, get those lines on the basketball court. There we go. Okay. We'll do a few more down this way. Basically, just kind of like work our way all the way down the page as methodically as possible so that I don't drag this triangle through wet ink and make a big mess. Not gonna say that it's not gonna happen, but I'm trying to avoid it. The method is to try to avoid it. And then sometimes as I'm going through, I find something where I did the drawing all wonky and I get a chance to fix it on the ink pass like that. That was not to the level it was supposed to be. That was supposed to be more parallel with the rest of these horizontal lines, not at that weird angle that it's at. Okay. That's just about it for that pass. I'm going to clean off the edge of my triangle here so I don't get a big old glob of ink anywhere or make that all gunky. Hey, Hungry, thanks for joining me. Oh, there was like some little crusty bits of dried ink stuck on the edge of that I'm going to just kind of blow off of the paper here. And like I said, that Winsor & Newton ink is a little bit thicker, so I have to remember to clean my nib a little bit more frequently than I would if I were using the Royal Talons. So, do that. Okay, we're gonna do the ones up here are dry already, so we're gonna do a pass going in the other direction. And while I'm working on this top panel, that gives the panels on the bottom tier that I just did a little bit of time. Do you ever use any type of cleaners to clean off the triangle? I try to remember to do it while the ink is still wet while I'm working, but if I do notice that it's getting kind of like built up on there, Windex. Windex is pretty amazing at busting up ink. Oh, come on. That's what I'm talking about. It just doesn't want to flow through the pen nibs as well. Hopefully by next stream I'll have next stream I'll probably be working on the brush inking, but hopefully soon I will have more of the Royal Talons ink, just so that I don't have to go through this. No, other side. Whoop. All right. We're getting there on this pass. That was a lot of little tiny fiddly bits that I had to concentrate on there for a second. Got our little tournament pennants up here. Got the railing for the bleachers. Hey, Potato. Thanks for joining me. Hope everyone is doing well. It has continued to be ridiculously cold up here in the Northeast, so, you know, that's fun. Okay. I'm going to do some over here. I think after this pass, I'll take a little break from using the triangle because it gets boring. I get bored. I'll work on something else with the pen nib for a minute. Oh, come on. Don't be like that. There we go. All right. Now, last here. These are both getting kind of gunky, so we're going to clean real quick. Just a quick dip in the water, and then cleaning off with a paper towel. And on the triangle, just give that a quick wipe with the damp towel as well. All right, back down here. Well, that came out a little wonky. What happened there? Those corners didn't meet. Oh, another difference between these and Age of Night pages is that you guys have no idea what anyone is saying. Because the lettering is digital too. Okay. All right, we're going to take a little break from the tools for a minute here. Clean that off. And I'll just do some background details here and there that don't require the straight edge or a French curve or anything, just to give myself a little break from using those tools because, like I said, I get bored. Some of these shorter straight lines I can just freehand. It's not a big deal. Similarly, for a lot of the round objects in these scenes, I'm going to be using a circle template, but for a teeny tiny little doorknob like that, it's really not necessary. I can just freehand it. Little details on the fire alarm. Little latch on the fire extinguisher in its little case. Let's see, we can do the little casters on the ball cart with their little brakes. And Alec is quite small here. As you can see, he's like half the size of my thumb. So I'm going to do him in pen rather than doing him in brush, just because that's a very tiny figure to be trying to do in brush. I mean, I could do it. It just seems like it wouldn't be fun. Seems like I would have a bad time doing that. Assuming I can get ink to come out of my pen. With a teeny tiny figure like this, you kind of have to simplify a certain amount and not try to get every little detail on there, because it just kind of, the lines just kind of turn into a mess and you won't really be able to see what's going on. All right, so there's Alec. Hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I've been watching since you were drawing the part when the man was eating. Oh, yeah. That's right. I do remember that, Kizzy. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Yep, I got that page completely done. Did I don't remember if I colored it yet. I can't keep it straight. I don't think I have that one colored yet. Finish it. Like, I finished inking it. I think that might be sitting on Jeremy's desk to be flatted right now. So as far as the coloring workflow goes, like the page production workflow, is that I draw and ink everything, and then the writer for the series, Jeremy Flagg, he's been helping me with the flats, where you just like fill in a basic solid color for everything. And they don't even have to be the right colors. It's just so that you have separated areas to work with on the final coloring. So he's been doing that part of the process of just like laying down flat colors. And then he sends the files back to me, and then I change the colors to what they're ultimately going to be, and I do all of the renderings. I like add shadows and highlights and patterns and whatever other effects and everything, and I letter it. I've done some of the flats as well, just to keep us moving along, but he's been doing a lot of them just because that it's fairly time consuming, and it's not like you don't need to like have an artistic vision to do it. You're basically just coloring in like you would a coloring book, except you're doing it on the computer. So I think that page that I did on the stream previously, I think he still has it at the flatting stage right now. I'm working on this book like completely out of order, so I don't always remember what stage everything is at unless I'm looking at the list of files where I have the pages in front of me. Because, you know, it's a lot of work to get a whole graphic novel put together, and if I had to draw the whole thing and then ink the whole thing and then color the whole thing all in order, I would get very, very bored and lose my patience very quickly. Let's see if we can get this railing in here. Ah, yes, that's totally a straight line that I drew in the penciling stage. You can tell by how it does not conform to the straight line of my straight edge at all. Get some of these bleachers. So I can kind of fudge that corner that didn't quite meet. lines don't line up. Right now, I'm working on that same project that you saw previously with the guy coming in and the kid who I couldn't figure out how he was supposed to hold a fork. That's the same kid. This is him. This is Alec, main character. So this is I Am the First. So I Am the First is it's a graphic novel. So I'm going to be working on it for quite some time. So there'll be quite a few streams of working on pages from this over the next year or so. But that was that was still the same chapter 2. I think that was page 4, and this is page 10. So there's a little bit that happens in between that and this. So it's a different part of that chapter. The recurring theme is Alec frequently seems to be having a bad time. It's just what happens. It's what happens in this book. Alec has a bad time a lot. Poor Alec. Basketball court marks again. Ooh, that was a big glob of ink. That could have gone really badly. Hopefully it did not. The inks are moving along pretty quickly on this one, which is nice. Alright, let's see. What do we still have down here on this panel? A couple little odds and ends. So we've got the fire alarm. We've got this railing back here. We've got that bit of floor that I didn't get earlier. And I think that's pretty much it for stuff that needs tools down here. This little zipper there. And the details on the fire alarm. Close that end there. Close some ends on some stuff. And those lines, I don't really need to do anything with in the inking stage. Those were primarily so that I didn't get confused while I was drawing the bleachers, because it had so many parallel lines to describe so many different planes that it was just okay, where's the risers? Where's the bottom? Where's the part where you put your feet? Where's the actual seats? Just trying to keep myself from getting confused and creating some Escher bleachers. Alright, that one looks like it doesn't need any more. This one still needs a little bit. This railing down here. And missed some of the basketball hoop earlier. I'm going to have to get out my circle template for those basketballs. That's some other stuff I can do with the pen without any of those tools. We can do some of the details up here on these banners. Those. Let's get these ones. Get to this point where it's like I've done most of the things, but there's a few little bits and bobs left all over the place, and it's difficult to get them in like concise passes. Those very straight lines I drew earlier. Good job. Alright, there's the cart. Alright, and now, what time is it? What time is it? I'm trying to talk while holding a pen in my mouth. Good job. It is 8:28, so we're about halfway through the stream because I do these for about an hour. Because at the end of an hour, like, I need to go get up and stretch and have a drink of water, and you should do that too. You should. But we're about halfway through, and today is a special day. So we're going to take a quick intermission. I'll still be drawing. I'm just not going to be working on this. Because today is Hourly Comic Day. It's Hourly Comic Day. Hooray. Where'd my pencil go? Where's my pencil? Oh, it's right in there. Very smart. It's Hourly Comic Day. So you're going to get to watch me draw an hourly comic about drawing an hourly comic on the stream. If you don't know what Hourly Comic Day is, because it has fallen on an art stream day before, but it's been a couple of years. Can you believe I've been doing art streams for like years? Years. It's been a little while since it fell on an art stream day. What time is it? It's 8:29. Okay, 8:29 p.m. What's going on right now? I've got my little setup here. You get to see what my setup kind of looks like from the outside because I'm drawing myself. So, Hourly Comics Day, if you're not familiar with Hourly Comics Day, is February 1st, every year. If you're participating in Hourly Comics Day, you draw a journal comic every hour that you are awake. And you draw something that happened in that hour. So you can see, like, for the 7 o'clock hour, I drew a comic of me feeding the cat and making myself a cup of tea. Oh yeah, I have a cup of tea over here. I think it's probably cold at this point. Mm-hmm. Yep, sure is. That's what I get for forgetting about it. Alright, so I've got my camera up here watching me. This little doodad. So there's the webcam. There's the mic lurking off to the side. Got that's a lamp, I swear. We've got one lamp. So yeah, Hourly Comic Day has been going on for like a very long time now. I've done it for 12, 13 years. I've done it for a very long time. I want to say 12 years. I want to say the first one I did was 2010. I could be wrong, but I think it was. Yeah, I would have had to have been because I was working a job where I never would have been able to do it, I think, before then. But I don't know, maybe I did on my day off because I've had years where I didn't get to do it on Hourly Comics Day. I did it like a while later. So we've got a lamp. And other light. And there's me. Oh yeah, I'm wearing my headphones. So we're gonna just scribble that over there. So that's essentially what's going on here right now. That's the setup. That's what it looks like. Tuesday night art stream. Seems to be more of background rustling sound. Is my mic being foolish again? That's annoying. I thought I had fixed it. It's very strange because I don't seem to be having that problem anywhere other than YouTube. Because I've been in like several meetings on like Zoom and Google Meets and StreamYard since last week. And just recording on it, it's fine. And then for some reason on YouTube, it acts very weird. I don't know what that's about. I'm not really sure what to do about that either. Like, what do you do? What do you do? If anyone knows what you do, please let me know because I'm at a loss here. All right. So there's the back of my goofy head. Yep, that's the back of my head. And there's that thing I always say. Thanks for joining me. And this is my computer monitor that's off to the side, where I can just kind of turn my head and see it. So I can't really see it when I'm drawing, but I look up periodically and can see it. And so there's the YouTube. It's not super bad. Well, I'm glad it's not like really bad, but it still bothers me that it's doing that. And there's you guys. There's you guys right there. That's you guys. So there we go. There's the hourly comic for right now, for the 8 o'clock hour. It's the only other thing we have to do is we have to take a picture of it. Make sure that... What app do I stream with? I just stream directly from YouTube's interface, like their live YouTube studio. I don't have like I have some of the other apps, but I don't use them because I've tried using OBS and I'd get very overwhelmed. I don't know if that would necessarily help, and I'm not sure if it maybe is just that my microphone's like a million years old. That could have something to do with it. But it is weird that it seems to only be on YouTube that I'm having this issue. And I'm not sure like how to get into those types of like settings on YouTube. I'm really late to the game. That is an absolutely great screen name. Love it. Really late to the game. Well, I'm glad it's sounding okay for you. All right, I'm posting this to Instagram, and then I'll get back to inking. So yeah, Hourly Comic Day has been going on. I think it started in like 2007 or 8 or something, and the original creator, Simone Vale, she doesn't do it anymore. She quit doing it a long time ago, and even before she like dropped off the face of the earth, like just disappeared from the public eye for reasons. But what she would do is that she would actually do the hourly comics for the entire month of January. So all month she would be doing an hourly a journal comic every hour that she was awake for an entire month. And I've done this for many years for just the one day, and it's very intense just doing it for one day. I can't imagine doing it for an entire month. But you know, she did actually make it a like community thing of like, hey, everybody who wants to participate, post them online, and you know, we can all see what everybody is doing, and it's kind of a really fun comics journaling exercise. And it very quickly became its own thing that no one needed to like run or moderate, especially with the rise of various social media platforms, because now everybody posts them on Instagram and Twitter. You don't really need anyone like hosting a central forum or anything like that. So it got to be its own thing, even though the initial creator doesn't have anything to do with it anymore, as far as I know. Okay, I want to do the little basketballs, so let me go get my circle template, which thankfully is not on the floor. I heard one of these things go flying off of the little hook to keep them on and go clattering to the floor, and thankfully it was not the one that I need. It was a different one. And judging by what I have in my hand here, I know which one is on the floor somewhere, and I'll have to go look for it later. All right. But, so, here's the thing. The triangle has this nice little bevel on it, so that when I'm using... I don't know if you can see it. The triangle has a little bevel on the edge, so that when I'm using it with the ink, it's not actually... The edge that my pen is running along is not actually touching the paper. There's a little gap there. These do not have that. So you can see what happens if you try to use a pen like this with this template. The ink is just going to run right along that edge and just pool underneath the template and make a terrible, terrible mess. So we're not going to use this pen. We're going to use one of these guys, the Tech pen, a very, very fine Tech pen. I'm making tiny little lines. So now I need to find an appropriately sized circle for my basketball here. I get something that lines up pretty well there. All right, that looks good. And a little swoop, swoop. Ta-da! I have a circle. And find good sized ones for over here. Swoop. And gotta look out for where that line is supposed to be that I haven't drawn yet. Whoops, a little bit of overlap there. That's okay. I'll have to wipe that out later. Go. Now, are there any other balls anywhere on this page? Sounds good, Potato. I'll still be here for another 20-ish minutes. Slightly less than 20 minutes. All right, no other balls on this page. So now we're done with this. And we're done with this. Gotta make sure to recap this. Nice and snug, but not over tightened because you don't want to crack the plastic, but you do want to keep air out of here so that the ink doesn't dry out on the tiny little technical bits, because it will be a mess and you won't want to have to clean it. All right, this goes back. Got like just a couple more things to do with the pen nib, and I think we're actually going to be able to start moving on to brush this evening. That's pretty cool. That went really fast. That was even with my little intermission. Ah! Yeah, the last thing I'll say about Hourly Comics Day is that if that sounds cool to you, if that sounds like something you might want to check out, there are comic artists from all over the world who participate. And a lot of people do actually do it like different days throughout this whole week because like they have stuff going on with work or life or whatever. And so they have to do it, you know, later on when they actually have a good time to participate. For years, I had to do it like a few days later on my day off because I couldn't do it while I was at work because I was still working like in retail. So it would always be like, the next day I have off after February 1st, which is fine. You gotta do what you gotta do. Basketball hoop. Little lines on the basketball. clean up some of these little gaps in some of these lines. Basketballs. Oh yeah, there's like a leg missing on this cart. 3-legged ball cart. You have arrived late, someone saying. I'm sorry. We're in the last 15-ish minutes now. I'm sorry to say. I appreciate you stopping by, though. It's still really cool of you to come and do that. Alright. Do I have anything else left to do up here on this one? I think there's like this little edge of a bleacher here. Okay. I think that one's done. I think this one's done. Nothing in that one. There's like one tiny detail in here. Lucky for you, it's the best 15 minutes. I appreciate that. All right. Okay, so we do only have like 12 minutes left or so, but I'm done with the nib inking that I can find at this point. So we're going to start working with brush for just a little bit. For the little bit of time we have left, we're going to do some brushing. So I'm going to... do I have any videos on writing / plotting out your stories? No. Ow! Just got stabbed by a pen. The closest I have to it is I do have a video about how I organize my scripts and layouts, but I don't have a video about writing specifically, partially because, and this is kind of silly. I've written like 3 entire graphic novels and I'm working on a 4th. Not even this one, but Age of Night. I've got like 26 chapters of Age of Night, and I still don't feel like a writer. I don't feel like a writer. I feel like an artist who has a story they want to tell, and so I wrote it down, but I don't feel like a writer. I have done writing for work, like for game design. I've written some scenarios, and people even paid me for it, and I've had people tell me they think I'm a good writer, but I don't feel confident in what I'm doing. I don't feel confident enough in what I'm doing to like tell people how to do it. When it comes to writing, I will tell you about artwork stuff all day long, but when it comes to writing, I feel like dog floating in space station gif. But yeah, really late to the game. My webcomic is Age of Night. That's at ageofnight.com. AGEOFNIGHT.com. All right, I've got my brush. I had to get it wet because it was kind of crusty. It had been sitting around for a little while. I haven't done any brush inking in a bit, so we're just gonna see how much of this we get done before time is up. Similar to my concern earlier with the passes of like the straight edge stuff, I have to plan where I'm inking to try to not drag my hand through wet ink. So we're going to start all the way over to the left because I am right-handed. We're going to start inking there and work our way over to the right. But yeah, we're in the last 10 minutes, so yeah, that's a good point. I guess I could talk about that. Talk about like my approach for a like a long project like Age of Night versus like when I do a short story, because they are very different approaches. So that is a good point. Maybe I will do that. I have had the pre-recorded and edited videos on a little bit of a pause because like, the winter and the holidays were just like, I was like, I don't have the energy to also do this. I have enough other things demanding my energy right now. I don't have the energy for this right now. This is just going to go on pause for a bit. But I will return to it at some point. This kid in the front here. So we're in the last 10 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and do the things since we already kind of started talking about it. I'll remind any of you who came in late, I'm Amanda Call. I do these streams here on my YouTube channel every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, barring something happening completely out of my control. So if you like watching me work on stuff and talk about art, then by all means, like the video and subscribe to the channel and all that great stuff. The book I am working on right now, that you see me working on right here, is called I Am the First. It's written by my friend Jeremy Flagg and drawn by me. We recently had a successful Kickstarter for it. And so this graphic novel we're releasing it serially, so it'll be coming out one chapter at a time every few months over the course of this year, and then by the end of this year we should have the whole thing done. That's the goal. We'll see how that works, but that's the goal. Concentrate on these tiny little fingers and try not to mess them up. There we go. That worked. I Am the First has a Facebook group that you can follow. It will soon be available. The first chapter will be available a little later this month on Amazon, Drive-Thru Comics, Drive-Thru Fiction, all that good stuff. Comixology, all of that jazz. Awesome. Thanks. Really late to the game. I appreciate that. You can also follow me on various social medias where I will be constantly updating people on stuff. My Instagram is Amanda Call Art, and my Twitter is at Age of Night. Age of Night is spelled AGEOFNIGHT, just like my webcomic, which you can find at ageofnight.com. I'm very frequently working on webcomic pages on this stream, but since I'm also working on this big project this year, I'm kind of alternating between them. So some weeks I'll be working on one of these pages, and some weeks I'll be working on an Age of Night page, and it kind of depends on where I'm at in the Age of Night pages as well, because like right now I'm in the middle of like I'm working on a very spoilery part of the current chapter, so it's like I can't really stream any more of that until the chapter gets a little further ahead in what's posted. Because just seeing things will be like, wait, what? You can read all of Age of Night for free at ageofnight.com. I do also have collected volumes, volume 1 through 3, available on Amazon, on Drive-Thru RPG, Drive-Thru Fiction, and Drive-Thru Comics. And yeah. Oh yeah. What am I forgetting? Oh yes. Last thing I'm forgetting is if you would like to, I do offer all of Age of Night for free. But if you would like to help support my comic making efforts and get your Age of Night pages a week early, you can also support me on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Age of Night. Same spelling as all the other things that are Age of Night. Time of day, not the guy in the armor. All right, I got those two figures inked. That's good. I've only got a couple minutes left, but we'll get a little bit of this. So the one place where I'll make the exception as far as moving strictly from left to right is if you have something blocking something else. So she's standing in front of this other girl. The girl with the braids is standing in front of the girl with the ponytail. So even though she's to the right of the girl with the ponytail, I will ink her first to make sure that none of her lines accidentally kind of stray into overlapping this figure in front of her. That's the thought process there. Outline. All right, I'm just gonna finish her jersey here, and then we're gonna call it for this evening. Some little folds in the fabric there. All right, there we go. So we actually got to get a little bit of a jump on the brush inking tonight. That's cool. So we'll be a lot more likely to actually finish this next week. So I started with this fully penciled, but no inks done. Over the course of this hour, I've gotten all of the background nib inking done, and I got to start in on the brush inking. And we even took a break to do an hourly comic. So I would say that was a pretty productive work session. We'll be back here next week at the same time. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I will see you next time. Bye.